Hello everybody, welcome to another Honda Element video. Today I'm here with my friend G. He's just making sure that the audio is working. I went live like a few minutes ago, but my audio was not working. So if anybody is connected, please, if you guys can send a message that the audio is good. Do you get any notification like
I did, but it's not. It's loading.
okay, perfect. So Edgar Aragon, he just told us
Oh,
that
okay.
yes, we can hear you. So that's pretty good. So we are
Wonderful.
in. Yeah, it was a bad connection in my microphone. So now we are live, G. And thank you again, G, for being here with us today. He's going to help me to do some recording while I go through this Honda Element, guys. Today's video is about how to buy the right Honda Element. If anybody has any questions about how to buy an Element, please let me know in the chat. And G is going to be like just telling me whoever's sent a message so I can kind of go through that questions. Okay, guys, I know it's pretty hard sometimes for people, especially people who doesn't have like a mechanical inclination in cars, to buy the right element, right? And once again, guys, I just want to introduce G. He also has a YouTube channel, right, G? That's how we
Yeah,
met.
yeah. So I have a channel called Mini Moto Media, and it started off as mostly about scooter enthusiasts and gas scooters, particularly those that are like modded out, customized gas scooters that have been stretched, been upgraded or swapped with different engines. So come and check it out. I started posting more about content for my food adventures or food businesses. So that's something that I'm going to kind of start looking into doing as well. And I also do, well, I haven't done anything on the Element. I don't know if I'm going to, but it's mostly a channel just for fun, and hopefully it'll, become of something in the future.
Sounds
So
good. And what year is your Honda Element?
it's a 2004 Element, an EX. I just got it in January of this year. I think it runs wonderful. It's an all-wheel drive, and I've learned quite a bit actually watching Miguel's channel and Steven and all these other Element enthusiasts. I've actually been wanting an Element since, early 2010s, but I finally got one, and I'm enjoying it a lot lately.
Sounds pretty cool. And we got twins tomatoes today, right? Yours is an all-wheel drive manual,
Yes.
and mine is the automatic tomato. So this video, guys, for everybody who is just coming into the live, is about how to buy the right Honda Element. And one of the things that I will say I will personally do first when I buy a Honda Element is I go under the car, guys. This is the first thing I always do, okay? And what I check is, let me see, guys, but I check, maybe kind of hard to see, but under the car, all the metal thing that you see over there, make sure there is no leaks. Because a lot of times you can have, for example, like a timing cover leakage, and that might cost a lot of money. So I think just having zero leaks under the car, that's the first thing I will check in an Element. All of the cars that I bought, I owned four. I owned five before, and all of them are really nice and dry, zero leaks at all. So I'm going to hand the camera, guys, to G, and any questions, please ask. He's gonna tell me whatever you read on the chat section. So sometimes you just gotta like kind of press on this, like it kind of disappears. So
Okay.
okay. And any question that you have, G, let me know too, please, okay?
All right.
All right, guys, so like I say, number one, check for leaks, especially like all in this area under. So you're just gonna go down and make sure there is zero leaks. That's a good indication that you might be buying a good motor or engine in the Honda Element. All right. And then another thing that I do is for sure test drive the car. Make sure if you hear any noises. Personally, I like to drive the car going uphill if necessary, going through bumps, and drive it hard, guys. Don't drive it slow. I mean, if you can take it to the freeway, take it to the freeway. Pick the right time to drive your Honda Element, because a lot of times you maybe got an appointment with this person who is selling it and the freeway is packed, so you cannot really drive it on the freeway, right? So make sure that you pick a time that you can take it with on the freeway with no problems, or a place that goes with a lot of bumps, make a U-turns. Make sure that you turn on the heater and the AC, even if it's either winter or summer, because sometimes you might don't know and you might have a heater problem or a AC problem, and that's a lot of money, right? And another thing, guys, if you come to the Honda Element here at the front of the windshield, maybe it's gonna be a little bit hard to see because of the camera, guys, but over there, just by where the wiper is, you can see the big number. I'm going to show you where else you can find the big number, okay? So if you come here, G, in the front driver's side door, also you can find the big number. So just kind of memorize the last 3 or 2 numbers. The last 2 numbers on this are 08. So you can look for this big number everywhere in the car, believe it or not, guys. So that way you can know if any of the parts in the Element is being replaced before, if it's been in a major accident or in a fender bender, right? So knowing now the last 2 numbers of the big numbers, which is 08, then you can start looking. So the first place, guys, you kind of gonna start from, let's say, from the fender, and then we're gonna go all around the Honda Element, okay? So if you show this part, G, please, on the fender, then on this side over there, you can see the big number. So you can see a big number, and it does match the last 2 numbers, which is 08. So you will have confidence that this Element for right now is not being hit in this part, all right? And then if you come to the driver door, I already showed you earlier, guys, but there is also another big number over here. And then if you come to the rear door, then there is a big number over here. Maybe kind of hard to show it in the camera, guys, but there is a big number over there. See if you can catch that, G. Thank you so much, G, for helping me with this. And also, guys, there is another big number over there, right where the quarter panel is. And also it matched the 08. So now let's walk to the back of the Element. And if we come here where the trunk is, then, guys, you can find the big number of this, let's say, upper door. I'm sorry, just like over here. Then you can see the big number over there. And also, even though you have the big number, inspect for rust. Okay, so a lot of times I see Elements that build rust on this kind of hinge on the upper part of the door. And another part that a lot of people skip it is right here, guys. So in this kind of door, you leave this plastic tin, and I seen people like the Element looks perfectly fine, and once they leave this, these like hinges are full of rust. And also, guys, there is another big number over there. So right now we are just walking around the Element and finding all the big numbers and making sure that the big numbers match the last number, so we know the door is being not replaced for another used part or another aftermarket part, okay? So now let's move to this side.
You got motion in your garage.
Oh yeah, cool. And also, you know, kind of also look at the color, at the color paint, because sometimes, like if you go on the shade or on the sun, you can see like different colors on the paint. So that's another indication, like if the car is being hit before. So now, same here, same as the other side. We are live, guys. So if you hear any noises, that's pretty normal. We also got a big number over there. we got the big number over here, same as the other side. And also in the passenger side, we got a big number over here. And then for the passenger side, also we got the passenger side fender big number, which is here. And then guys, for the front bumper, you should have a big number over here. So you can see the mark of this. So that's good, because either the big number just fall down because it's like a sticker, you know, or maybe it's just been replaced before. We don't know that. But another thing that you can tell is, like, if you look at this bumper, guys, it have kind of a two-tone colors, but looks also like this one is being painted. I'm sorry. So there is a big chance that this might be the OEM bumper. It's just like the sticker fall down or something. In my other three elements, the sticker is still there. It matches, so make sure right here there is a sticker that matches with the big number, okay, guys? So I will say that's tip number 2. So tip number 1, guys, is make sure you go under the car, check for rust, check for leaks. I personally like cars with 0 leaks. That's like a percentage of getting a good element is going to be really high when you have 0 leaks, 0 rust under the car. Tip number 2, go through the big numbers. And I will say number 3 is you gotta drive it on the freeway, go hard on it. You know, if it's on a stick shift, try all the speeds, and I will say that's number 3. All right. So any questions so far, G? Nothing.
Well, I do have it. So, what are some of the issues that you want to be concerned with, other than the 3 that we just mentioned, and particularly the suspension, for example?
Okay, that's a very good question, G. So, you know, I inspect a lot of Honda elements. I get a lot of calls from people, especially in the channel, to fix their element here in Southern California. And by the way, hi to all those people who been bringing their elements to me the past few days, few weeks, few months. And one of the things sometimes that I feel, or I notice, I will say, when I talk to people who just purchase an element, it's like sometimes they feel like they either got a good deal or they pay too much. And sometimes I think that's not really it, because if you're getting a good deal, then once you take this car that you think like, oh, this car drives good, this element drives good, and then you take it to a shop for an inspection, and then the service writers comes with a bill of, hey, if you want to have your element in a good running condition, that you're going to pay $4,000. I was just talking to a guy, he calls me from Illinois. His name is Ted, one of the YouTube channel followers. And he bought an element and they quote him $4,000 to fix his element. And everything was mostly elements. So going back to your question, is like, what do you have to see in the elements, right, before buying or spending this much money? Very common in the elements will be suspension. I will say 80 to 90% of the elements that you buy on OfferUp, Craigslist, or Facebook Marketplace, then it will need a lot of suspension work, like struts, strut mounts, arms. So I will say, like, if you're buying an element, keep in consideration that even that you think that the test drive went good, that you might be spending a few $1,000s to fix it, you know. Especially, I mean, these cars are 20, 22 years old cars. So getting the most information from the seller, hey, what do you done lately? It will help a lot. I will say the top 5, I will name it like that, things that breaks in the element will be front suspension struts. Strut mounts that are located right here. So if I was going to buy an element, in order like to check the suspension, I will check this mount right here. So like I was just talking to G earlier, and that's one of the reasons we decided to do the video. And if you go on the strut mounts, then you can see how this one starts getting some crack. And then like if I push it down, like you guys can kind of hold with 2 hands the fender, like this. So if you go like that and then you just push it down, you can kind of see the crack if it gets bigger. And that's something that I highly recommend you to check the strut mounts. They do break a lot in the elements. And also, like I was saying earlier, leaks. Leaks usually the VTEC solenoid, which is located in the back, they leak a lot. A bigger job, I will say, is the timing cover. If you have any leakage around this area where the timing cover is, then let's say like you don't have a valve cover leakage, or you don't have an VTEC solenoid leakage, or a spout valve leakage, then timing cover is a lot of money. You can pay easily $800 to like $1,500 depending of where you take it, just to fix a leak. So it might sound minor when you drive it, you might not notice that. That's why it's very important that you go through the engine. Another thing, guys, I highly recommend you to check an element when the car is completely cold, because a lot of times I hear elements when they are cold, they just started in the morning, then it has this noise that it can be like a valve needs to be adjusted, and then when the engine warms up, you might not hear it, so I will highly recommend you to drive the element or start it when it's cold in the morning. So that's another tip too, guys. And in general, inspect for bells. I mean, for any rust around. I've seen elements that has a lot of rust, especially on the bolts. Like if you guys come on these bolts right here, on the valve cover, on the struts, or the ones that host the lines for the AC, if you see rust on that can be an indication that your element might have more rust under the car. So that's another thing, how to spot a rusted element. All right. Any other questions for anybody who is connected? Also for
No, I
right,
can't think of
also
any
for
right
right now, like if you come inside, oh, watch out. Yeah, when we are live, things like that happen. Are you okay, G?
now. Yeah.
All right. So when you come here to the element, guys, also, let's say in the interior, make sure that everything works fine, lights, and do you have your key in
Yeah.
hand? So let me show you something in the dashboard, okay? Because the thing that I recommend you also, guys, to do is, once you put the key for first time on the ignition key, then you gotta check for all these lights. You know how we have that oil light, battery light, check engine brake. So what you're gonna do, guys, is you're gonna go, when you install the key, you go on the second position, so number 2, and then you're gonna make sure that all those lights comes on. So right now, let's put it in second position, car is off, and you can see the battery light coming on, the check engine light coming on. A lot of people, believe it or not, guys, they do remove the light bulb, and the way to check that the light bulbs are working properly is you put it in the second position and you check and make sure that all the lights are on. And of course, once you start the engine, you want all those lights to go away. If they stay on, like for example, the check engine light stays on, then you gotta really think about it if you're gonna buy it or not, because even that the element is driving totally fine, like especially we that we live in California, that we need to do smoke checks, you might spend a few $1,000s just fixing that light. It can be a bad catalytic that can cost $2,000 to $3,000 to fix it, or evapes cost, like it's multiple things that you might think that you're getting a good price element, and then in the end it will come the other hand, you know what I mean? So check, like I say, check the AC, check the heater, make sure that like if you guys buying an automatic transmission, make sure that the lights are not flashing. A lot of times the lights flash when people start having problems in the elements. That's another very popular fix in the elements, So back to the other question, I kind of skip it, guys. It's live, so it's kind of make it all good. But you were asking me, I was saying like the top 5 things that you can check in the elements. Okay, so it's suspension, that breaks a lot. I will say rust too. I get a lot of people who gets rust, and I'm really kind of like against rust on the elements. And another advice I can do is, if you want an element, a good element, I think for like the resale price. If you get a all-wheel drive, either automatic or manual, EX, I think where the good investment in buying an element is. All right. So any other questions for
Yeah,
anybody in the
so
group?
we did
Yeah.
have somebody who was asking about how to turn on the rear window wipers.
How to turn on? Oh, I see. Yeah. For what year is your element?
2004.
Yeah, that's a very valid question, guys. I know sometimes we don't use much that, but so if you come here on the right side where this switch is, guys, then we use this one for the front, right? You can see it coming on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, guys. So to run the one on the rear is gonna be this switch right here. So right now, if you follow this line, it says off. So you can always just put it in on.
All right,
That's how you turn it, yeah. And then if you want water, you can always put it on the water mode too. You see, like there is the water mode here. You just kind of press it like that. So you wanna make sure it is working.
yeah,
Yeah, it is working, right?
no. No, it isn't. Oh, now it is.
It is.
Okay.
There it is. So that's how you turn it on, guys. I never used that before, but I just check it right now, you know. I mean, we barely get rain here in Southern California.
It
Actually,
sprinkled a little today, yeah.
today was a sprinkle, and I was like, oh, thanks God, you know, like we got some rain. Any other questions? Any other tips, guys,
So
about?
we got another question, and Edgar was the one that asked about the wipers. Can you convert his two wheel manual transmission? How do I turn on the chat?
Oh, let me see. So you just gotta press it, like kind of press once. So there is, let's go with Edgar. Good tips, how to turn the rear wipers. Can you convert a manual transmission to all-wheel drive to all-wheel drive? Guys, you know, especially with Hondas, a lot of things are possible. That's one of the reasons people like to modify Hondas. I will say yes, it is possible, but personally, if I gotta spend the money and the time to convert it, I will just sell whatever I have and I will buy one that it already have the all-wheel drive. So that will be mostly my advice, you know, because it's many things involved. Another thing that you have to think about it is if you go to a mechanic shop and you tell them, hey, can I convert my car from an front-wheel drive to an all-wheel drive? They don't do it because modifications takes a lot of time, takes a lot of like researching, money, and in the end of the day, I don't think it's worth it.
Well, just to get a more in-depth answer, is it because they have to source a whole new axle from like a donor vehicle to place in
Yes.
it, and then you have to change out like the rear suspension as well as the mechanics of the underneath the car for the all-wheel drive?
Yeah, there is many things involved, just like you said it, and also you know the computer. And I like just saying really simple. This answer is like for me personally. I know everybody is different. Every mechanic or people who has a similar channel maybe to mine might have a different opinion. But for me, it's just like you just sell your car and buy an all-wheel drive. You know, I think it's easier, especially like if you are not mechanical inclined, it's gonna be really hard to find somebody who is doing this. Also, I have a similar question last time in one of my videos that somebody told me if they can add a cruise control. Yes, I think it is possible. You gotta switch like computers, you know, add stuff, add the switch, add a new clock spring. But like I say, guys, it's hard to find somebody who's gonna be willing to do that. It's just easier for me to just get another car and buy whatever you have right now. But
So,
good question, anyways. Yeah.
so it's like not only do you have to be mechanically inclined, but you have to understand the electronics and
Exactly.
the
It's a lot of
technology.
things involved, you know. It's for
Gotcha.
example, if you go to a shop and then you tell the mechanic, hey, how much you charge me for changing front brakes? They already know a time. But when it comes to modifications, sometimes the person who's gonna work in your car might spend double or 3 times more than doing something that they already done it for so long, you know.
Right.
And just looking at all that picture, I think it's like not worth it when you can easily go sell your car and just buy another one, you know. Especially like right now the market is kind of going down on elements, you know, and it's a good time to buy a Honda Element, especially all-wheel drive. Highly recommend you all-wheel drive. Stick shift for automatic. I just think the money is there as a, like as somebody who in the future wants this car as a collector car, you know, or kind of having the unicorn car. For me, this is like a unicorn. Doesn't really matter about the color. I mean, it is nice to have the khaki color and everything, but this is a manual, and this is an EX, and it's an all-wheel drive. I mean, I'll take it, you know.
You got a couple more questions.
Sure.
So, first one we'd like to address is, can you use AutoZone rental spring compressor tool for the front springs?
Yes, you can, guys. Actually, I had mine in one of my videos, and the pins, they were too big, and they were not locking the spring, and that's something that you use for safety. And then now I went to Autozone, I bought a pair of it there. That's the same pair that I bought. It's the same pair that I used in my second video when I was doing my springs, and they do fit and they do close for safety. And yeah, I done it multiple times with that spring. Especially for the elements, yes, you can use the Autozone spring tools. I done it before like many times.
And
You
is
know?
it only particularly like specifically to AutoZone, or can it be like any like Auto Advanced parts and O'Reilly's?
I use a lot of Autozone parts, so I can guarantee you if you rent or buy the spring compressor tool from Autozone, it will work in the Honda Elements.
Gotcha.
But from another brand, sometimes like they have a slightly different designs. Like mine, it was too big on the safety pins. But other than that, yes, you can rent it at Autozone.
So is it like a AutoZone branded tool?
I think it is an Autozone branded tool. I will say it's called OEM, the like OEM parts.
Okay.
So yes, I will say it's an Autozone tool. I mean, I will say mostly all of the tools will work like similar to it. It's just that the Autozone, the safety pins were smaller and they will fit the element. And you want to use that when you're working on springs. Make sure you wear gloves, you know, and just be careful, be safe. The other thing that also, I'm not sure if I tell this in my video, but for example, if I'm not a mechanic and I don't want to really deal with the springs to install a new strut, but I know I can do the other part of the job, I will remove the whole spring and I will take it to a machine shop or a regular shop. I know a shop locally here that they charge me like $10 to $15 a piece to install the new strut. So you might save all this time and hassle just to install, because a lot of people, I will say, they get stuck, or that will say, I will say that's the hardest part to do when you're replacing your struts. So I mean, that's another option, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You do have to be careful, and you're dealing with high pressure, right? So
Exactly.
it can result in accidents. So
It can result in accidents. Yeah, you're right. So just be careful when you're doing this job, guys. Okay. I
Right.
mean, I'm not sure if that's something that I mention sometimes in my videos, but I try my best, you know, to. But it's good that somebody is asking that, you know.
Great.
It makes me think too when I'm working with something that can be injured to you, to kind of pay more attention into my videos or my content that I'm posting.
Gotcha. All right. So we have another question. How do you know if you have a two-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive?
Okay, one of the things that you can check, guys, if you come in the back here, so we have two, well, these are both all-wheel drive, right? But if you like in the back of the car and you go behind, then you can, maybe I can hand the camera, guys, see if we don't lose connection, but you can see, yeah, we are losing connection if we go too much down. But you can see the axle, guys, over there. So this is the arm, but over there you can see the axle, and also you can see the differential. So I'm sorry, guys, like maybe it's not too clear right now, but at least you guys get an idea. So that's usually what I do. I just go behind the car, go under, and then check it, make sure that like if it's an all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, you know.
So is it more so you're gonna see more axle
Yeah, you're gonna
and
see the two
bars?
axles and the shaft. So you're gonna see all that over there, which I think it's easier to spot if you have knowledge about it.
Okay.
And now that somebody asking that question, you know, that's a very good question because I have people asking me to check a Honda Element before buying one. And a lot of times people will post it like an offer up and they will say like, oh, it's an EX, it's a first owner, it's a all-wheel drive. And when you arrive there, it's like 4 or 5 owners car, it's no all-wheel drive. So to make 100% sure this is like you ask for the big number, and once you have the big number, you can go to a web page or you can Google big number, the coding, and in this application you just put the big number and it will give you all the information about the car, if it's an EX, LX, if it's an all-wheel drive. So I will say I will recommend you to do that more than checking if you are not really mechanical inclined. You know, my channel is mostly for people who has some knowledge of how to fix a car or they want to learn about it. That's why sometimes I take like longer time, you know, showing something or a piece, how to remove it, because the channel is made for those people so they can save money and they can work in their car. It's fun to work in their car, you know. So, and
Right.
also make sure you follow another people who also has Honda Elements channels. I seen like 3 or 4 people who does a lot of good videos, and also I'm going to post a link of those YouTubers that I follow, and they are making the time, you know, just to share everything about the Honda Elements. Any other question?
Yeah.
Sure.
So someone was asking, where's the best Peruvian restaurant in SoCal? And let me
Oh,
say
cool.
this, you know, I don't think there's really like the best, but it's more so of what are the most popular and common dishes that people like. That it's either fusion-esque, right, where
I
it's
see.
a modern twist on a particular dish, or a very quote unquote authentic or traditional dish, right, of a particular culture's cuisine. Like that to me is probably more of a better description or a question about where should I go and eat this. So let me be a little more in depth.
All right.
What's your favorite Peruvian dish, and where would you recommend to go to eat that Peruvian dish?
I will say my most favorite Peruvian dish is ceviche, which is kind of like you can get it like fish or seafood, and it's fresh fish cooked with like lemon juice, salt, kind of similar to Mexican ceviche too, but a little bit different ingredients. So my most favorite place locally here in California will be in Cerritos. There is one place called Rocoto. I really like that one. So, and then in general, for other dishes, I will say a lot of people who are not from Peru, they like lomo saltado, or they do like ceviche too, some fried seafood, arroz chaufa. So yep,
So,
that's
so as far as like ceviche, in case people don't know what it is, it's not a dish that's cooked with fire, but what it's cooked with is lime juice,
yes,
and it's the acidity that is essentially killing all the bacteria and sort of cooking it in its acids, right?
yep, that's what it is.
So, and you know, there is definitely a great flavor with this. So, you know, it would probably be revolved around like sushi, raw foods, that kind of
Yes,
type of cuisine.
yep. But we also have different kind of foods, you know, like hot food, soups, rice. Yeah, you guys should try it. Thank you for
What
asking
what
that.
is you said arroz?
Oh, that's like just fried rice. It's
Fried
just
rice.
like in Spanish. But by the way, guys, I know I never introduced myself into the channel. I'm just really waiting for finishing tomato. If you guys see here on my left, I've been working on tomato for around a year and 2 3 months. That's since I started doing the channel and owning Honda Elements. And once this is done, then I really wanted to do like a full tour. Hopefully G is gonna be with me helping me because he works doing this. he knows a lot about sound and videos, and I want to finish this, do a full tour, kind of share myself to you guys, like what is the reason of the channel, what I come from. So thank you so much also, guys, for subscribing to my channel. I almost 4,000 followers in YouTube. So that's pretty nice for me, because I feel like, okay, I gotta make more content. I gotta create more content. So thank you for everybody who is subscribing to the channel. Any other questions?
Nope, but you've got some great comments, and
Oh, cool. Thank you.
there's Edgar had mentioned that regarding the Peruvian restaurant, there's one on Van Nuys, and there's one around Beverly and Normandy. Is the one in Beverly and Normandy, is that over by Echo Park area, I believe, right?
I never been to that one, but I will definitely try next time. I kind of like to travel around and try different Peruvian restaurants, but now that he mentioned it, definitely it's gonna be on my list.
And Peruvian food, from my observation and understanding, is that there's a lot of Latin and Japanese flavors infused.
Yeah,
to
we
the
have
dish.
a lot of like Asian kind of mixture too. So you guys definitely should try it.
Somebody wants you to go to NYC,
NYC. Oh yes,
New York
maybe it's
City.
Hot Rod, right? It's Hot Rod. He always telling me, hey, you should come here,
Big
to
Mac
fix my
Sam.
element. Oh, also Big Max, he has a YouTube channel, right? You should post it in the comments in the chat. Very good content too. The guy, he drive on his Honda Element and give tons of nice information. Hey, if anybody also, guys, just coming into the live late, we are doing like how to buy the best element. So we already went through many tips. Any other advice that I can give to people about buying an element? Let me see. Well, like I say, check rust, check for leaks, check all the big numbers, get information from the owner. And one that I almost forget, that is like a must when you're buying any car in general. Check the Carfax report, guys. It's unbelievable how many times I went to check a car, it looks good, it says 120,000 on the dashboard. You pull out the Carfax report, 300,000 miles on it. And make sure that you are checking the Carfax.
Mine actually has a JDM engine that was replaced when I purchased mine 2 months prior to it. They swapped out a JDM motor, and it's been running really smooth. So I'm pretty happy with that. We did get a question about how much money you've spent already on your tomato, but I'm pretty sure you want to probably talk about that later on when you actually have your video.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yes, we can do another video, but I can say something really quick. I bought it for a great deal, 6,100, believe it or not, with the e-camper. Another thing that helps you a lot when buying a Honda Element is, first, don't be in a hurry to buy a car in general. When you are in a hurry to buy a car, it's gonna be hard to get a good car. If you have the money ready in cash in hand, and you are looking for the right car, it doesn't matter, it goes 1 month, 2 months, the chances to get a better car will be good. And that's what happened to me. I purchased this almost 12 p.m. at night, and I paid cash, and I got it for a good deal. Let me go get some water because I'm getting a little bit itchy in my...
Sure.
Yeah, if any other question, let me know.
Definitely.
Sorry, guys, I got itchy talking too much. Any other questions about it?
Actually, where's the common spots for rust?
The common spot for rust, guys. First, the easier spot to check, if you open the hood. Then, I was just saying earlier in the video, but check all the bolts from the suspensions, bolts from the valve covers. I noticed that when they start getting build rust, you will start seeing some rust on the balls. For me, that's not really a big deal if you only have rust on the balls, but that's an indication that you want to check more into it, because if you start building a little bit of rust inside the hood where it's protected by the hood, then just think about underneath. So I will say the rust builds will be mostly under on the arms. You know, right now it's kind of hard, guys, to really show you, and but check under the car. It's pretty easy to spot rust on the elements. I will say that pretty easy to spot that. Another thing that I recommend you to do too. I don't have a paper towel in hand, but check the fluids too. You know, for example, if you grab the oil dipstick, and then first make sure that the level is good, right? But do you have a piece of towel around there? Let me go grab a piece of towel really quick, guys, so I can show you properly about this. Oh, there it is. I got it. So once you clean the dipstick, then for example, a lot of times when you clip the dipstick, guys, you can see how this metal part is clean and shiny. That's what you want. A lot of times after you cleaning it, and then you see like a mark, like a brownish color, yellowish color mark here, that means that most of the times the last owner of the element didn't do the oil change on time, because the old oil will build like kind of like a carbon build, like a brownish color right here. So this is what you exactly want to do. Clean it and like make sure that the dipsticks match the whole like kind of silver shiny color all on the stick. Okay, so that's one. Like I was saying earlier, make sure that you start this engine when it's cold, because a lot of times when it's cold you might get noises, and when the engine warms up you don't have any noise, and then you buy it, next day it gets cold, the engine, you start it, and I'm like, I didn't have this noise before, you know. Oh, and another thing that you can do that it works perfectly, I will say in most cars, for checking steering and suspension parts, is you come here, you grab this door, guys, and then with your both hands you go like this, and then you go up and down. By doing that, guys, you're kind of moving the whole car like this, and then you will hear noises that maybe you didn't hear it when you were driving the element. And also you can do the same in the other door. I'm not gonna open it because this is on my way, but you also open it and you go like that.
You can try it on mine.
Yeah, let's try it on yours. See, let's try on yours, okay? Mine is like I changed all kind of parts already, so
Okay, so
let's try this, okay? So, and you gotta, don't worry, like the door it won't fall off or it won't break. It's just like you can hear noises, and sometimes like it won't do it on this door, but if you go to the other door, it will do the noise. So that way you can check for like link connectors, bad suspensions. So, and then on this one you go like that. And another thing that you can also do is go like this. You open this and you just kind of sit on this, and then you can just kind of go up and down to hear any noises that you might find on the element, you know.
Is there like a certain amount of give that you want to also
not really. You just kind of like go up and down. That should be enough to move the whole car and to hear any squeaking noise, I will say. You know, don't expect like if you are buying a 20 years old element to be in perfect condition. For me, if there is no rust, the engine sounds strong, there is no check engine lights or any kind of funny or funky lights, then expect like even that you are getting a good deal, that a day after you take it to a mechanic, you will easily spend a few $1,000s to put money on the suspension, on the tune-up. So, I mean, it's a used car, right, guys? So just keep that in consideration, that the money is gonna be there even after you get a good deal. That's why sometimes you get cars that cost more or elements that cost more, but if this guy posted, like for example, I did the struts, and he has proof of it, then you might reconsidering to maybe overpay more than maybe it's not overpay, because I know people like they call me and they say, Miguel, they quote me $4,000 just to fix like suspension work, to do valve adjustment, to, you know, like to do things that a lot of this information I have it in the channel. So just keep that in consideration. Any other questions?
A lot more. So
Oh, cool.
When is part 2 of your fog light video coming up?
Okay, so that one most likely, guys, is gonna be either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm almost finishing editing. The thing is that because I have, believe it or not, guys, I have right now 16 videos to be edited, and unfortunately, I've been running out of time. And editing a video for me, I mean, if you follow me from the beginning when I start, when I was posting like really bad videos, I'm being improved slowly, and that takes sometimes just doing a video. It takes me like 8 hours, you know,
A
and
one-man
that's
show.
yeah, and that's plus my job, plus people calling me. I only don't do mechanic shop. I also do another kind of business. I'm into collectible cars, like sport cars, like soccer cars, and I buy and sell in eBay. So that's another part of my income. A little bit of stock market too, but guys, I'm super busy. I travel a lot too. I don't know if you guys noticed that on my recent videos, and it's just editing. It can take me, sometimes one video can take me like a week or two. And sometimes what happens with me is like, oh, I can record something and I kind of, instead of finishing one, I move to another one. But I promise all the videos that I've been telling in my channel are gonna be there soon. Right now, I'm gonna be posting part 2 of the fog lights today or tomorrow. And also I'm working on the video. Let me show you guys really quick here. And I know this video is, a lot of people is been waiting for this video. So it's for this handle right here. Let me turn off this fan really quick. So a lot of people wondering how I got this like unlock and unlock button, you know. So I will not only show you a video how to install it, guys, but I'm also going to sell the kit for it. So you can get the electrical wiring, the OEM handle, and the video, of course, that you guys can install one of these in your elements. So I think that's a pretty cool modification to add to the
Oh,
element.
definitely. I
Yeah,
need
so
one.
keep tuned for that, you know. I don't really want to say a day, guys. It's just like I slowly been putting this kit together. I'm thinking about having 20 kits ready for people who want it after releasing the video. But like right now, I'm so many videos behind, guys. It's like it is a lot of work. Like I've been doing with these videos. You know, sometimes I like I don't know. It's so hard like to to produce a video, guys. Especially for me who doesn't know anything about videos. Like it takes me longer or twice or three times more than another guy who knows about it. Yep, I'm gonna be posting more videos, so guys, keep tuned. You know, please make sure that you follow, like, subscribe. Subscribing, liking, and commenting, guys, is just making all this channel make more content for me. All right.
All right.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so there's an
Let's
interest
go
in
down.
more SoCal element meetups.
Oh yeah.
So when is there one planned for anytime soon?
Okay, guys. So I know I get a lot of these comments in my YouTube videos. So right now, if you guys follow elementdriven.com, uh, the owner of this company, I will say online company, they sell a lot of element products, is Jeff, and he has in his webpage just like a post just related for upcoming meetups. So that's one. You guys wanna make sure when the next meetup is, then just subscribe or keep checking the elementdriven.com. Another thing is like on my community, guys, I'm very active. I always posting the stuff in the community, and every time there is a meetup, I will post it there. Even that there is a meetup that is not locally, I will still try to post it so people in different states can know about the meetups, right? And here in SoCal, I will say we got a lot of meetups. We just had one meetup recently, a few weeks ago, close by the way. That's how me and G met. And I think the next meetup is gonna be, I will say like 2 to 3 months. I'm going to plan one meetup with Steven Aldaco. Make sure, guys, you follow Steven Aldaco in YouTube. He has great content about Honda Elements. And we are planning to do a meetup right here. And this part is gonna be like a camping meetup. I'm not sure it's been done before, like a camping meetup. I know it's been on like an overlanding meetup before, but yeah, we're gonna be posting a meetup soon, okay? And also let's see, there is gonna be another meetup in Oregon. And I think that one is gonna be made by Rich, the guy who just organized the PNW meetup. So like I say again, make sure that you check on elementdriven.com. All right.
And you'll probably post a link,
I got
right?
too excited, right? Yeah,
You'll,
yeah. I will
you'll,
post the link. Definitely, I will post the link on the end of this live, on the description.
for Los Angeles, and the last one was so good. Thanks by Big Mac Sam,
Cool.
and any particular meetups in Shasta by Brian Thompson.
That will be nice. I know I've been talking to the organizer. I'm sorry, from the PNW meetup, and I think next year they wanna put a meetup where the Tale of the Dragons, which is like a really famous meetup, is been going on for years, and the PNW that they like beat the record of 102 or 103 elements in one single meetup. I think they wanna find like a middle point and do a like one of the biggest meetup of Honda
A
elements,
mega
right?
meet.
Yeah, that would be like super good. Mega meet, yeah, that would be a nice name to call it like that. So that would be nice, like if people from different states can drive into a metal state that, you know, like the most
Central
people,
location in the
that would be
U.S.
so nice, you know, kind of my dream come true for the element owners.
Do you happen to have an extra OE fog light kit for sale?
Yeah, unfortunately, right now I don't, guys. I do have a kit, but it's missing one fog light. So, I mean, unless somebody wanna take that with a missing OEM fog light, I might consider selling it. And by the way, right now I'm selling two elements. I'm selling my silver and blue element, and I'm selling my green element, which with a lot of work that I already did on that one. Reason I'm selling is because I just buy a new element, guys, and that's gonna be in the channel, I will say next weekend. So it's a surprise. I know some people that already follow me, like in Instagram, they already know how the element looks, but I'm going to do like a walkout tour of that element. Just kind of like a little bit about the element. It's an e-camper, so keep tuned for that video coming on next weekend. One of the reasons I'm selling my elements too is because I need to afford the money I spent in the new element that I just got.
Can't wait to see that one.
Sounds good.
All
Any
right.
other question, guys, about how to buy the right element? Please let me know. Any other questions is valid, you know. So if anybody just getting into the life late, this video is about how to buy the right element. And I already went through a lot of tips, but please, guys, any other questions, let me know. I will be happy to answer.
All
And
right. I
how
think
long is been in the live right now?
we've been live for about 54 minutes.
54 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna do an hour live. That's what usually people recommend me to do, an hour live. So
Okay.
we got 6 more minutes, okay, guys? We're gonna wait a little bit. Do you wanna show us your element really quick?
All
Yeah,
right.
let's give us like a little tour of your element, you know?
Okay. So my element, I've got this freeway camper kit. And actually, what I've done is more so, and recently, I've let's see here. I've insulated the inside of it. You can see the panels right here. I have a layer of wool, then a layer of Reflectix, and then the panel. And I've essentially done the entire rear from this to these rear panels, and that on both sides. And I've also done the entire headliner with the insulation. So I think it's really helped with the cooling of the heat that we've had, and also it kind of has softened the dampening on the sound system. Definitely here sounds a lot clearer, not as rattly, so that's helped quite a bit. And then I've, got a 2x4 or a 4x8 birch wood, 3/4. I've cut it out into the shape of the tabletop. A rear well, wheel well, spare tire compartment. And I may do a few other like changes on the actual freeway camper kit.
Do you also insulate the tire carrier like the?
No,
Not
that
yet.
I haven't done that yet. Maybe later on.
Got it.
For now, it was more so of just testing out whether the layering of wool and Reflectix together with the panels and the headliner would work, and it actually did. I've also, did my window shields. It's actually in the middle is the coroplast or corrugated plastic, and then each side has Reflectix, and then one side has marine vinyl. You can see the black on
Yeah,
there,
that's pretty solid.
so it's pretty thick.
One of the things that stand out from G's Element, I will say, guys, when I was talking to him or when I met him at the Element meetup, it was that he was working a lot in his sound proofing or like heat. I will say like heat proof stuff, to just keep the Element either cool or warm, and that's something that I have to get some advice from you, for my future mods.
All right,
Yeah, I will say just having your Element like
it's pretty thick.
like yeah, it is pretty, but it's pretty good though. It does a good job.
Oh yeah.
Having your Element insulated, that's one of the first things that you might considering when doing a build, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people start putting a lot of stuff and then it's like, oh, it gets hot, it gets cold.
The thing is, like, you watch a lot of YouTube instructional videos online, and you try to get good ideas from other people. I think insulation is definitely a topic that various YouTubers and channels, they have their own opinions and observations on how to insulate the interior. And for me, I try to go a little more all out instead of trying to cut corners. Obviously, I didn't buy Havelock wool, but I had some extra wool lying around, and so that I still have enough to be able to do the door panels right here.
I see.
But in the end, I think, yeah, insulating, when you have to strip down the entire vehicle, the interior, and I took some pictures of that. So I removed like the plastic rubber, the seal, what is it, the weather protection,
Yeah.
and then stripped out everything, and then did all the layering of the insulation. Now I haven't put back all of the screws and stuff.
You're
So
kind of testing right now?
Yeah, just testing. This is why we're out here, just seeing how it'll work under certain weather conditions. It is a lot cooler now, so, but it's really nice and cool inside. I don't have a fan on or anything. I even have I didn't even put the windshield or the sun screen protector on the roof, and it's still nice and cool on the inside
It
of my
feels
vehicle.
pretty cool. I mean, compared to my Element, it does feel a little bit colder there.
Right.
Yeah, cooler, I will say.
And I've taken out the seat, as you can tell. This really helps. Today I brought a lot of my filming equipment, but the ability to place other things right here really helps with the space, the extra space. As you can tell, my bed is really large. Takes the entire back, more than 3/4 of the back half of my vehicle. So when I want to start doing editing and stuff, and I'm on the road, this is gonna actually be a good working space for me to maybe add a table and somehow figure something out, like a swivel seat.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
A hero swivel seat.
Right. And so maybe I'll have my little dinette area right here. So there's a lot of things to consider, and by all means, I've only had this car since January, beginning of January, so there is a little bit of thought that has to go into this. I've watched a lot of videos just like everyone else, and as much as people say that it takes this amount of time, 10 minutes to do this and that, it takes a lot more time because you have to think through what modifications or customizations you want to do for your vehicle, and then apply it to your particular scenario or situation. So, yeah, I definitely watched a lot of Miguel's videos, and
Thank
it
you so
helped
much,
me,
G. Yeah.
definitely helped me get to where I want to be, and find what I want to do with my vehicle. So I'm not mechanically inclined at all. I barely know what how an engine works, but it's only because I started learning on a scooter, a four-stroke scooters and stuff. So understanding that and trying to do all these things helps me understand better of how my vehicle works, or in general how a combustion engine works. And then you start adding things together, you'll see the bigger picture. And then later on, you won't have to, go to a dealership and spend a lot more money out of a budget that you don't have or can't think of wanting to spend to, fix the things that need to be done. Again, like Miguel said, these are like 20, 25-year-old vehicles, and they've been around for so long that you have over 200,000 miles on the chassis alone. Engine, like one thing I didn't realize is people ask about what the engine mileage is. Well, mine happens to be a brand new engine, JDM engine, but it's not brand new, it's used, and those are typically around anywhere between 50 to 70,000 miles, and they're imported from Japan, right? The thing is, these vehicles or these engines that are being imported from Japan, typically in Japan, JDM engines it's cheaper to actually not have to maintain your vehicle in Japan and just buy a brand new vehicle. And so a lot of these new engines are being imported. You don't know what the maintenance has been on it, and more than likely that not a lot of them have really had any kind of maintenance done on it. So it's a risky investment, but the person who actually sold me my car, they took me to the engine shop where it got swapped, and they introduced me to them, and it's been running really well. So I think I've gotten a pretty good engine that they built, and replaced whatever needed to be replaced if the entire engine wasn't up to par. And like I said, it, you can only imagine like how much you have to put into researching what you need to in order to make sure your car is running good. You're going to end up spending extra money, but by watching these videos and tutorials by other element enthusiasts and mechanics and just car in general, like, you'll learn so much more. It's a fascinating world.
And that's one of the reasons that we decide to make this live, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
talking about your car, basically. I'm like, what? Let's do a video about how to buy the right element.
yeah.
So thank you so much, G, for sharing, for helping me up. Like, I'm learning a lot from you too when it comes to like recording videos. And another question for another of our subscribers. Let's check it out. So Miguel, he's asking, do you recommend or you ever have done a suspension review with Duralast Par? Yes, I done it so many times, guys, because I have a commercial account. Maybe if we come here a little bit to the front suspension. So seriously, guys, especially for this or most cars, I won't recommend you to go with Duralast struts. You will have problems, especially with the strut mounts. I was explaining earlier about the strut mounts. I personally installed strut mounts in my, I think, tomato element. and they went bad like after a few months, like maybe I will say 6-7 months. So to answer pretty simple, don't go with Duralast. KYB or OEMs are the way to go. I will say with Duralast you can go okay like on the ball joints, on the link connectors, even in the lower arms kind of. But if I have to spend the extra money, I will definitely don't go with Duralast. I will go with like 555 ball joints, OEM struts or KYB struts, strut mounts OEM only. But if you know also that you need all this job to be done, like let's say all the suspension, and also you are thinking to leave your element in the future, you can always go with a flat out suspension, because flat out suspensions are stronger. There is good companies that are making good quality, and you can also like lift it up, or according to your necessities, it will come with a new strut mounts and all that. I think you should research a little bit more when it comes for parts with the element. One of the things that breaks the most in elements is the suspension, and one of the reasons is like because of cheap quality a lot of times. So go with another parts, I will say, Miguel. I will say we will be one more minute waiting for other questions. If there is no question, guys, this will be the end of the live. So let's just wait one more minute. If no, G is gonna let me know any other questions. I'm happy guys to answer any mechanical questions right now.
Primo.
All right, sounds good. What did he say? And Joseph is around the corner. He's coming like in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna do some nice videos, some nice footage for the next upcoming videos, guys. Any other questions? So looks like we are there, Miguel. I hope that answers your questions. And buy online. I think buying online is gonna save a lot of money. Even like Duralast has some warranty, like lifetime warranty, and I still don't go with them. KYB I think is the best. Other parts, it's okay, Duralast, I will say, depending of how you drive. If it's just like driving to work, you're not doing any long distance driving, or then also depends of that, because also I know like about like some people don't really want to spend this much money, because it's maybe just their daily that they take it, like not many miles from work. But if it comes just for the struts and the strut mounts, OEM and OEM strut mounts or KYB. Okay, other than that, it's okay to save some money, I will say, depending of your, of your driving conditions. So it looks like no more questions, right, G? Okay, guys, well, thank you so much again for being live with us and commenting, subscribing too, and see you next Honda Element video. Bye-bye. Woohoo! Woo. See?